Hello peeps, Hillbilly Halfwit today, how are you? Gotta be honest, I'm feeling a bit rough today. Got a bit of a chest infection, but never mind. We'll just work it off like we always have all these years. So a few things to talk about today. We're going to talk about Starmer in a minute, but what I want to talk about is my merchandise shop below. I've got the Hillbilly Halfwit stuff on there, but I had an idea yesterday where we could put up different t-shirts. So one idea I've had, because I can make my own, whatever you want on there, I can make to put a template on there. So I had this idea yesterday of just putting some writing of farmers feed you, politicians bleed you. So you could have that on anything. And then I'll put because I can only put it up one at a time, like I can have this or maybe that. When I put a video up, I'll put the different ones up every video, if you see what I mean. Mrs. said one this morning, it's feeling very nippy here. So that's one for you women, if your nipples are a bit cold. What else? Anything really. I did have an idea of doing one of Drakeford in his little Hitler suit and some funny quip about it. So if you can think of any, let me know in the comments down here, because if they're funny, we'll do them and I'll put them on a t-shirt, or you can have it for a sticker or something. Sorry, the sun is a bit in an awkward position here today. So anything you can think of, put them in the comments. Yeah, if I like them, I'll put them on a t-shirt or a cap or a sticker, and you can get like a sticker's only £3 or something, isn't it? But there was somebody asking about a cap the other day. This is the black cap, but you can change the white bit, the bit that's black on it. It's a trucker cap, and you can change it for red or white or black. So that's all that is. So I must get some more myself. What we're going to talk about, Starmer today. Basically, the media are hiding everything about him. I have to say allegedly, but allegedly him and his wife have actually split up. And all the journalists are saying around number 10 Downing Street there, because they're there all the time, that woman and his children are not there. They haven't been there for over a month. So it seems like during the election and that, they were split up and they were pretending to be married. That's what it seems very much like. God, that isn't a very good way to go, is it? Allegedly, the PM lying about his marital status while canvassing. What a state to be in, eh? What? Like my nan always says, you tell one lie, you've got 9 to cover it. So they are untrustworthy bastards, and they, all of them. You can't trust none of them. Like that t-shirt was going to say, farmers feed you, politicians bleed you. And deceive you, don't they? They deceive you. So I saw quite an interesting interview. I haven't watched it all yet yesterday. Well, this morning, sorry. Joe Rogan was interviewing Trump. And I saw about the first few minutes of it. It's quite interesting. It's actually humanised him a bit, I think. Because, don't get me wrong, he says a lot of stuff that winds people up. But I think since he's had this lot trying to bop him off, he seems to have calmed down a bit. Because he was a decent leader when the things he was doing. He shouldn't have talked to the press, in my opinion. He should have just kept his gob shut and just ignored the press. But there we are. So I think he will probably be the next president, but they're going to give him hell, aren't they? But I still have this thing in the back of my mind, though, where I don't think they'll let him be and they'll bop him off. But that's my own opinion. I think they'll bop him off. They just hate him so much. So my lambs here, if you want to have a look. We took some to the market the other day. They went okay. So something in the pocket, at least hopefully next week, because it takes a week to come through. they're very picky these days. You've got this fine line where you have to get them ready, if you see what I mean. So you have to get them reasonably fat, and they grade them before they go in the market. So you've got to have this fine line where you can get them too fat and you put more money into them than you're going to make, if you see what I mean. And you've got that fine line in the middle. So they want sort of 35 to 45 the area of weight. But then when you start feeding cake and things, your profit goes. So I try to keep on that fine line between them being too lean and in the middle myself. I know then the market ain't too keen on it, but that's what I find is the best, because you're not putting so much into them. So even though you get a little bit less from them, you're not putting 20 quid each into them to feed them. That's how I look at it anyway. But what do I know, eh? I see lots of lambs at the market, fantastic condition, but they put 20, 30 quid into each one of them. So they bought their own lamb back. That's no good to me. So yeah, some milk again. Got lots of thief lambs this year. You get that sometimes where you have, sorry, the sun is a bit here today. You get that sometimes where you have lots of thief lambs and lots of male lambs. Trouble is then, I've got a lot of really nice brown, light brown faced yows I'd like to keep, because I like a bit of colour on my sheep. I'm not racist. So absolutely lovely day here today. In Wales, what's been going on in Wales? The NHS is in a dire situation in Wales, absolutely dire. If you're from England or somewhere else, it's in a terrible state. Not the people working in it, I don't mean. I mean the people running it. I haven't got a clue, really. They're not letting people go from one county to another to have operations and things like that. Try and get the waiting list down. It's a huge waiting list. Compared to England, it's nuts, really. And then Natural Resources Wales, got some huge tax bill that the Welsh government have had to pay or something. I haven't really looked into that much, because like I said, I've been a bit rough the last day or two. So yeah, see, I don't watch the mainstream media like I tell everybody. So all the stuff a lot of people see normally every day, I'm not interested in it. My life just goes on. So I look for my news. Like I think today, something I did see yesterday. Oh God, the sun again. Something I did see yesterday. The guy, lots of people like him. TR, you know, Mr. Robinson, has come back for this march. Like, I might be totally wrong, but I've said this before. I am absolutely convinced he's working for the actual government themselves. I've said this for ages. I don't think he was originally, but when they arrested him, not the last time, the time before, I think they threatened him, basically, to put him in prison. Like, what's that chap's name? For a long, long time. Because I seem very weird when they reel his name out and then the far right symbol all comes out when there's a good thing happening. What I think, it's like he's reeled out to create this narrative. I think. I know lots of people don't believe me on that, but like I said, we can't believe in everything. He's the only one, really. There's a couple of YouTube channels, though, right-wing YouTube channels, I'm a bit suspicious of, because you know what it's like for censorship on my channel, and they wouldn't let me get to that sort of height, and they would not let them channels get to 100k without having some input, I don't think, because they just remove it. You know how it works with me. They just stop your channel from growing. So I have suspicions of two channels. I'm not going to mention who they are, but two very big channels. They live stream from these marches and things, And there's two channels I am very suspicious of that are working with the government, but I can never prove it, so I'm not going to mention it. But you can imagine if that was, say, me doing this sort of thing, they'd just arrest you and remove your channel. Simple as that. So they use these channels to get the narrative they want for everybody is a right-wing nutcase, when in fact they're just normal. So they get these characters out there to create a hassle. That's what I think happens. They get them out there to create the hassle, to paint me and you as people that we're not. We're just normal folk. And then they use these characters that they sort of manufacture, like Mr. TR, and then we're all painted as that. That's what they're up to, in my opinion. But like I said, some people don't agree with me on that. But I notice how there's other people who speak a little bit more like me. They won't get any exposure because they're normal. That's why. So be wary of that guy. I am convinced nobody will change my mind that he's working for the state. Absolutely convinced. And he had to, because they were going to put him in the slammer for years. That's what I think. And like I said, two of them other big ones as well. Be careful. So that's the video for today, guys. I might put something up after if I feel like it, but I just went for a walk, to be honest, clear my chest today. Got a bit of asthma on go. Okay, all the best, and please comment and rate on them t-shirts and subscribe. And you never know, next video up you might have your t-shirt with your idea for a t-shirt in the shop below. Ta-da.